I have, what's today? 1, 2, 3, 93 days.
93. That's awesome. I was going to ask you when you were going to hit like a next like milestone of like
I
100.
just hit it on Thursday. 90 days on Thursday.
It's awesome.
And then for me, next Thursday will be, well, not next Thursday, next Sunday will be breaking 100 days, which will be big for me because it'll be 3 digits.
Keep it up.
So that means nothing in the community, but to me it means something. So
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
Now, if we could just get the rest of the world on board with that. Too.
Yes.
I'm a big proponent.
Like this? How do I show you this? Can you see that?
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah. These are recovery jewelry.
Those are cute.
That's really neat.
And functional. I'm a big proponent with my clients that like have a hard time just like basically like getting out of bed or like doing anything that they need to do. I'm like a big proponent for just like celebrate your small victories.
Yeah.
So like, or
I can talk to you about that.
It's like baby steps and small victories, and it's got a lot to do with recovery, really. Like that's where I channel like a lot of my like skills training, especially for like anxiety and depression. I channel it from like matrix classes and like NA, and I've done a lot of research in like a plethora of classes, but those seem to be my favorite too that I pull stuff from, just for like taking every day one step.
I can speak on depression, because it is no joke, and sometimes it is, just taking a shower is just the most impossible task of the day, so even just taking a shower when you're in that state of mind, so I can relate to your clients.
Yes. Well, it's hard when you don't experience stuff like that, so when you can kind of empathize with people, I think they're more receptive to stuff like that. Instead of being like, oh yeah, no, you need to like just pick up every day and like go job searching and like get your shit together, and you're like, how is anyone going to like succeed when you're like, here's everything, do it now?
Yeah, it's also overwhelming, right? So you're exactly right in what you're telling them. Just pick 1 or 2 things every day and just try to build as much as you can, even if the biggest thing I did today, when I'm in that state of mind, even if the biggest thing I did today was take a shower, that's me fighting today. Maybe that's what me fighting today looks like, is taking a shower, but at least I fought today. Tomorrow, maybe I can fight a little bit more.
I feel you. I don't know. It's hard, especially when people just don't like get it. Like there's such that stigma between like all sorts of like mental illness.
Oh yeah. Because we're all supposed to be fine. We're all always supposed to be fine.
Well, like I have like a lot of clients that are like filing for disability and stuff, and of course if you're wheelchair bound and can't walk, you're gonna get approved pretty quick, hopefully, right? But then like you're like, oh well, I have debilitating depression and anxiety and I just can't function in the world. They're like, oh, you're fine, like suck it up. And then they just become homeless, and then they're way worse. So
well, because when you're in that state of mind, at least from my experience, when I have been in that state of mind before, I talked to Jay-Z about this, just even in the problem of over medicating for depression. I definitely had a period of time where I was over medicated, and I felt like a walking zombie. I felt like I couldn't be happy, I couldn't be sad. So to sit here and laugh with you two, that was something a few years ago when I was over medicated that just didn't really happen, because it just wasn't there.
For sure.
And sometimes I feel like, I think there has to be a good balance, but I feel like sometimes, and in my case, what would happen is I would go into my doctor and say, I'm still depressed, I'm still having a hard time getting out of bed, I'm still not getting it. I don't understand what manual everyone else in life got that I didn't get. That makes me not feel like I want to go to work, or I want to take a shower, or just these small, simple things that everybody seems to be doing so easily. What's wrong with me? And the answer was, let's up your meds. And then let's check it out in 6 weeks. Come back in 6 weeks, still the same thing. Let's up your meds. Okay, let's up your meds. Until then, I was just a walking zombie. I was no longer sad, but I was also no longer happy. I was no longer anything.
Yeah, you're just blank.
Yeah. So, and then living that existence, and then that in itself creates another, in my case, created another spiral of another kind. So I sometimes think those things can go hand in hand,
Oh, I feel that.
counseling and medication, over medication, self-medicating, all of that.
Yeah, or like the people who, you know, I feel like sometimes doctors are just like, well, here, take this pill and it'll get better. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
like in theory, but like,
Right.
practice is different.
If you don't get to the root of it too, that's why I like what I'm doing right now. I like all the different avenues and all the different steps I'm taking right now, because I feel like we're trying to get to roots of things, of what causes the depression, what causes these cycles in myself that I've seen repeated patterns over the years. We're talking a course of 20 years, but repeated patterns.
Right.
What causes that? What are the triggers for it? And then the more I can know about myself, the better I can shield myself,
Definitely.
or create a defense, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I'm fully on board with, like, I think that therapy personally for me saved my life and, helps me work through stuff I didn't even know was bothering me. So, like, I know it doesn't really show, but I have severe social anxiety. So, like, I go to, like, my therapist regularly because I don't know why or how to deal with it or, like, what's wrong with me and, like, where it rooted from. So, like, to have somebody else, like, let me pick my brain in, like, a productive space is very helpful for
A
me.
safe space. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I feel like everybody should be in therapy.
I do too. I'm not even kidding.
No, everyone should definitely be in therapy. The world would be a much better place if, like,
Yes,
everyone had a therapist.
absolutely.
My therapy is weekly dinners with our girls that go to dinner.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you're sharing the same things, or similar things.
Yeah.
Well, your therapy can be anything. Like, sometimes therapy for someone is just sitting down and eating a bowl of ice cream by themselves in a room, like, so sometimes it's not always verbal therapy. Sometimes it's just that self-care.
Right.
Anything's therapy. Anything that makes you clear your head and feel a little better at the end of the day.
But then you also risk the good therapy versus, I don't want to say good versus bad, but good versus less productive, because then you self-medicating or you get into other extremes, like something like exercise can be a good thing and a good therapy, but it can also be taken to extremes.
Yeah.
Just anything like that, like the moderation and the balance of life.
Oh, absolutely. Balance is so important. Like, I know if I went to therapy 7 days a week, I wouldn't get anything out of it. But, like, if it's the same way with someone who's, like, a binge eater or really into retail therapy, like, after a while, it's going to become problematic. It's going to give you more problems than you need because it's all about that moderation. So.
Or even drugs and alcohol. Self-medicating with that,
For sure.
Or anything really. Religion can be taken to extremes sometimes too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, that's most of my paranoid schizophrenics are all really religiously occupied. And some of them have never been in a church or never were raised religious. It's just something that they heard and then they cling to it. And, like, it's just like their lifesaver and they don't know how to detach themselves from it at that point.
Right.
Can also get really unhealthy.